It's Dave Babych here, Vancouver Canucks Alumni, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Looking for the most beers on tap, great steaks, great staff? Head over to the John B. Pub.
We got the best beers, steaks, chicken wings, nachos in town. Come see us at the John B. Pub.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Come sign up for our football pool. Say Hayes sent you.
The number one sports podcast in Vancouver with Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
I was really worried about it last night. I really didn't know where I was going to go.
Dave Babych is a real horse in our hockey club. There's no defense in this league, moves the puck better, particularly coming out of their own zone. He's got an excellent shot from the point. And I'd have to attribute Dave Babych coming to Hartford as one of the reasons that we started to turn the club around.
Here's Creighton, poke check, and back the other way. Russ Courtnall. And one man back, it's McInnes. Russ Courtnall feeds over to Babych, working in a shot, he scores! Dave Babych from Russ Courtnall. The Canucks get a short-handed goal to lead.
Excellent play by Russ Courtnall. The Blues not very alert, picking up the late man, and Dave Babych, the veteran, scores.
Born in Edmonton, when did hockey start for you, and how many battles were there with brother Wayne?
Well, you know what? I started playing when I was, I guess, 5. I mean, we had our little garden backyard rink, so I think I started skating 2.5, 3, something like that. You know, so old Gretzky, he wasn't the only one that had a backyard rink. You know, Walter gets all the credit. Of course, you know, Wayne had a pretty good career, but yeah. And then the battles. You know what? My brother's 3 years older than me, so we had a few, maybe just minor ones when we were younger, but not a whole lot, you know, not many battles. The only time we really got into wasn't really a fight. He was playing in Portland, and I was playing Alberta Junior. I think I was 16, and I think it was his draft year. You know, I mean, he was gone all year. We didn't see much of each other, and he started thinking he was tough. I remember going in the front yard, and I tossed him around a bit, and I think he figured out quickly that I might have had the upper hand on him.
And did you play any other sports growing up?
You know what? We played everything. Well, in Edmonton, you know, the big thing was hockey, and then in the summertime was baseball. You know, there's a lot of other kids. You know, they played some soccer. You know, I played a little bit when I got a little bit older, but baseball was kind of my thing in the summer. I, you know, played a lot of golf. I know I lived probably 3 blocks away from Highlands Golf Course in Edmonton, which is a pretty good, you know, private course. And I bugged my mom one year because a couple of my buddies, you know, had a membership, junior membership. And when I was 13, 14, pretty much spent the whole day there all day for a couple of summers, and yeah, I got pretty good. And now I get once in a while I can shoot well, but you know, the aches and pains kind of get to you.
Oh yeah.
So every second game is an adventure for sure.
I just thought my golf game's horrible, and I just think if I could just not lose one ball per hole, then I call that a good hole. So I go there 18 balls, and if you run out of balls, you're done.
Well, that's a good way to do it, because that could be pretty expensive. I know, you know, I heard this one tip, you know, take 2 weeks off and sell your clubs. So maybe take a tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You can always find cheap balls somewhere, you know. So
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. And then you ended up playing your junior in the WHL with the Portland Winterhawks. Take us back to those days.
Well, it was Portland was I mean, a great franchise. It still is. It was. Well, my brother actually, when we grew up in Edmonton, the Edmonton Oil Kings were still around. And then when my brother was playing, he played 2 years in Edmonton. And then when they moved to Portland, he played another 2 years there. And I made the team when I was 16 and went with them over there. But I only lasted a month. I wasn't quite ready. I was just getting in high school. I mean, physically I was ready. It just, high school was important to me. I wanted to make sure I graduated. So I wanted to get the first good year. And so I went back to Alberta Junior, and it had a great year, and it turned out great. I played 2 more in Portland, and what a great city. Boy, I tell you, you talk about the Lower Mainland here. It's kind of even more granola, foodie, down to earth, beautiful place. And it's same thing. You could ski in Mount Hood, which is half hour outside of town. You could golf pretty much all year, and then the beaches were, another half hour drive the other way. So everything was there, and it treated me great. I loved it there. Travel was a little goofy. I remember one time, I know now in the WHL, they pick designated divisions where they travel once a year, and then they might not travel to one. We had a road trip one time. It was 21 days. We left Portland, and I think we hit every city all the way to Brandon. We finished in Brandon, so it was 21 days. They bought us a burger on the bus after the game. We drove 32 hours straight back. I think we stopped once somewhere. I think it was kind of like trail somewhere out that way, and then we kept going. And then so we get in that evening. The next day we got to play, a home game. You're looking out the window and it's just a blur, but it was but hey, it was well worth it. I really enjoyed it. We had a good bunch of guys on the team, so it made it go by quick.
And Portland's awesome too. Strip club capital of the Northwest.
Oh, I didn't know that. How would you know that, Ryan?
Yeah, we do. We always do our what are those things called? Stags. We always do a stag down in Portland. I did one a couple of years ago down there, and it was great times.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We were on student visa, so we couldn't really do bad things. We got caught doing something goofy. You could be sent home, or that's
absolutely.
Anyway, they threatened that stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. And then taking back to draft day, drafted second overall to the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, it was interesting because nobody knew who was going first. There was talk of Wickenheiser. Obviously, he went first, but Dennis Savard, myself, and Montreal had the first pick, and like I said, nobody knew until they announced it. Even my agents were actually, one was from Montreal, and so he kind of had the ear to the ground there, but he had no idea until it was announced. And then, with Wickenheiser going there and me going to Winnipeg, it was a great day. I mean, I was just happy to get drafted. Where it didn't matter. Maybe if you go to a different city, your career path changes, and you don't know how or how it would have. But no, I can't complain all the spots I've been to.
And then obviously brother drafted third overall the year before, and you guys were the highest, or a couple years before, you guys were the highest brothers drafted in history for defensemen.
Well, that's right. And I think some guys out of here were drafted kind of the same.
Yeah, Sedin. Yeah, they tied that.
Yeah. So, it was great. I mean, with Wayne going before me a couple of years, I really didn't even think I was going to make the NHL until he got drafted. And then we were doing hockey schools together and skating around at 16 or 17. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, he's not that much better than me. And then you start thinking, well, geez, maybe I got a chance. And it seemed to work out.
Do you have a favorite piece of sports memorabilia?
Oh, I have a lot. And it's actually, somebody just brought it up to me today when we went to the finals and we won the Western Conference.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
I don't know if you guys seen that, where there's a Kellogg's put our team on the front.
Yeah.
Cornflakes. And so all of us, we got, it all encased in plastic. And one of my favorite things for sure, because, I got my back turned so you could see the name and number, and, it's kind of front and center. That's one thing. But you know what else is really neat? There's many things I have in boxes that, are dear to me. And that's why I haven't thrown them out, or, my kids don't want them. They don't care about my stuff. But I got a jersey when I did Slapshot 2 from the Hansen brothers.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's all signed, and it's just, and it's goofy enough, but you know what, they probably did as much for hockey as almost anyone, especially in the States. To bring notoriety to it maybe in kind of a bit of a sour way, but still the notoriety was there and the entertainment was there, and they, we got to work together on the movie, and a good bunch of guys, and I think I played against all of them at one time or another, and but it was really neat, just to be part of that. The movie was the shits, but what do you do? It went straight to video, so yeah, that's maybe that was because of me, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's only like the best sports movie of all time.
Well, this was
Slapshot 2.
1.
Oh yeah, yes, correct.
Slapshot 1 for sure. Yeah. But Slapshot 2 was you have to be drinking some heavy beverages to enjoy that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, on that note, what's your go-to drink?
Oh boy, you know what? I would probably go for a vodka ginger with a lime.
Yeah.
That's kind of my barbecue drink. Like you sit there and you pour a tall one. It's kind of like something. This isn't one. This is just water, but this kind of that size, And you make sure you take your time on the steaks.
Yeah, exactly. You were lucky enough.
Oh, sorry. How about you guys for drinks?
Mike, you go first on this one.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Ryan Coke guy for sure.
Yeah.
And for me, if I'm at the bar, it's Corona. I'd probably I'll have a Corona for a beer, but I like my vodka cran. Yeah. But I also I haven't had a drink in 6 months, so I'm kind of.
Well, good for you.
Kind of off of it for a few days. I got a trip coming up though. I got to get back on the wagon.
Yeah, not many people jump back on the wagon, but that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I got to get the liver. I got to get the liver. Got to do a little practice run on the liver before I go to Mexico.
There you go. Good.
As soon as they open the damn border, Mike.
Yeah, and then you were lucky enough. It doesn't happen much nowadays, but jumping right into the NHL as a rookie, young teenager, putting up 44 points in a rookie year.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was interesting. Like I said, when I was talking about my brother and not really thinking that I had a chance at the time, or not thinking that I would make it quickly. But I know when I got drafted, I go to Winnipeg. They had a big press conference, and it's your mom and dad are there, and so on, and they're making a big deal out of it. And I'm sitting around a table with John Ferguson and Tom McVie and all the coaches and all the brass, and they're just the press conference is over, and I think who is it? Tom McVie. He asked me, he goes, you excited to play your first year in the NHL? I'm like, oh jeez, I just hope I make the team. And they all start laughing, and Tommy goes, well, if you don't make the team, we're all effing fired. So kind of give you a little relief, a little pressure off, but I did work hard. I mean, I was ready to go. Physically, I was more than ready, and mentally, it was. I think I was ready too.
I know number 44 was your number throughout your whole entire career. Was there a reason for it? And I also know that you're the first player to ever wear it permanently.
Yeah, well, you know what? There is a reason. The same press conference, John Ferguson goes up and he's introducing me, and in junior, I wore 21 because Boreas Salmon was my guy, right? And so I had 21, and that's what I told him. I said, 21 is my number, but somebody if somebody has it, I can't take somebody's number. I'm thinking to myself, it could be some big bugger that's going to beat the hell out of me in training camp. So I'll just take whatever. And Fergie goes up to the mic, and because some reporter asked him what number I was going to be in, and he goes, well, Dave said 21 was his number, but it's kind of taken. It was a guy in the minors up and down, and Fergie starts thinking. He goes, well, I was 22, and he's probably twice as good as I was, so we'll give him 44. And that's honestly how it came about, and it stuck, like I was happy to wear it, and first one to do it, like I said, permanently.
If I'm right, Bertuzzi came here, right? But he ended up wearing 27 or something for the first year with you wearing 44?
Yeah, 27 or 29, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure it was 27.
Yeah.
Bertuzzi wore, yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first NHL goal, if you remember?
Of course I remember. It was my first game.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I got lucky. I kind of slowed down after that. But no, we were in Washington, and we were playing at the old building there, and we're just getting killed. I think it was 4-0, but it could have been 10 times worse. And then we have a power play with about 5 minutes left in the game, and I was out there, and I took a slap shot, and right on the ice, picked the corner, and it was against Mike Palmatier. I don't know if you remember Mike Palmatier.
Yeah.
He was more famous for eating popcorn between periods, I guess.
Yeah.
So I scored, and it's 4-1 now with a couple minutes left. Not much chance. And all the guys are jumping all over me, happy. They grab the puck, and I'm thinking, boy, you guys easy to impress or make happy. But anyway, it was a big deal, and I certainly remember it because it was. I'm thinking, well, I knew it was hard, but I didn't think it would be that hard that I only got 6, I think, that my first year. So
what are the odds that you got that puck still?
Oh, I have it somewhere. Yeah, no, I do.
Cool.
Oh, for
Cool.
sure. Yeah.
Cool.
But like I said, I don't have right now, we moved, and I don't have an I Love Dave room.
Yeah.
Fair
enough.
I don't have anywhere to put it, but I will, one day I will, but I'll have a secret room where no one can see it. So no one thinks I'm some, whatever.
Yeah,
So,
you need to get yourself a man cave.
well, I know. I see you guys have them, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of these days. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, I got this one. What would your dream foursome of golf be?
Well, I you know what? You may, I don't know. You may think of me as kind of goof. I would first one would be probably Tiger Woods.
Great choice.
Well, I just want to see what a perfect golfer would hit the ball like.
Yeah.
Because I know that's not me, and I know, Ryan, that's not you. So.
No.
Okay, and then probably I would say maybe Barack Obama.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Good on.
I'm just trying to think. There's, I know I'm going to miss somebody. I would go with Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
So he's probably he probably doesn't golf. I mean, he should. He's
We could also reword the question. We sometimes ask the question as if you could invite 3 dinner guests to dinner, who would it be? It doesn't have to be a golf.
Well, yeah, I guess it would be kind of the same.
Yeah.
But you know what? It would be the same. I think the last one would probably be, and I'm missing a lot. I would I would enjoy a lot of people's company, but maybe John Wayne.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The whiskey guy. So there you go.
Exactly. I remember seeing that on my grandpa's TV for years and years and years and years and years.
Yeah. He was the man there for a long time.
He was.
Who was your sports hero growing up?
Sports hero. Well, probably Bobby Orr. And then there was a lot of guys. I mean, growing up, I mean, Hockey Night in Canada was Wednesdays and Saturdays, and really all you saw was Toronto or Montreal, and you saw the other teams, but mostly those guys. So, in Montreal, geez, there was, you could just go down the list. But yeah, Bobby Orr, like Gordie Howe was still playing when I was a kid, and well, I guess I only missed him by I think a year or two. So
Yeah.
that's how long he lasted. Sports here. I know baseball. I was like Nolan Ryan.
Yeah,
Beauty.
Big fan of his because like I think he was actually one of the first guys that actually worked out.
Yeah.
and big Texas guy. Those ranchers. They're just tough, eh? And to throw 100 miles an hour for 20 years in a row. I mean, come on, and he's not a beast like Clemens was, but he was just
he was good,
intimidating guy.
Yeah. What was it like seeing a young, now late Dale Hawerchuck join your Jets as a rookie? Could you tell he was going to be something special?
Oh yeah, no, you know what? When Dale joined us my second year, I mean we knew he was obviously going to be a good player. We didn't know how good because when you're playing in the NHL, it's hard to keep track of what's going on in junior, other than in the Hockey News. And back then it was a magazine, so you just have to look up stats. So but when he first got here, you could just tell the way he saw the ice and understood the game. He wasn't the greatest of skaters, and but geez, I tell you, he could find you anywhere, and even if you could find him anywhere. He was one of those guys where, he would never have a bad pass thrown to him because he would get it.
Yeah.
Other guys, if you hit their heel or their stick, there's no chance they're going to be able to control it. But he was just one of those guys that had just puck glued to a stick, and a great guy too, like just a great leader, and big loss there for sure.
Who would you say your favorite D partner would be you played with? I know you played with a lot of good ones.
Yeah, that's another tough one. You know what? Probably as a tandem. For instance, in Winnipeg, I think I played with everybody. I played left side, right side, rover, you name it.
Yeah.
And they were all great. In Winnipeg, I had Serge Savard for a while.
Yeah,
He came in and he was like 36, and I know when they traded for him, all the young guys, because we had a real young team, we're all talking stupidly, going, "Why the hell would they want some old bugger like us?" You knew the name. Then when he came, I mean, he's just such a class guy and such a good player. And I ran into him a couple of years ago in Winnipeg, and the bugger looks the same. Like he's just one.
He's aged guys. Well.
Oh yeah. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe it's the Ryan Coke or the vodka cranberry. I don't know what it is, but yeah, whatever it is working. But he was terrific. Learned a lot from him on and off the ice. Like just those Montreal guys way back then were just class guys. And then when I got traded to Hartford, I was pretty much with Joel Quenneville the whole time because Queenie was just he wore the old Lang skates. I don't know if you remember those things. The long boots, rubber space boots, and they would squeak when you skated. And he wasn't, real fleet of foot anyway, but he would be blocking shots and that. And he was a defensive guy, and they would still let me go, up ice, and I had a lot of fun with him. But the guy, I think I probably connected with most here was Gerald Diddick. I think we were partners for probably 5 years too, and we played off each other. Like he was a tough bugger, and I know when we made a few runs there, Pat would put us against some of the top lines, and we were there to move the puck and make sure we got into the forwards, but we were there to torture the other guys coming down on us, because if they were coming to the front of the net, we're going to make sure in a 7-game series that either they could move their arms after, or it would be painful to do so. So,
what was your first thoughts the moment, or like the first time you seen Pavel on the ice?
Well, you knew he had some get up and go, but until you saw him in a game, like the first game, he made a few.
I was at the first game. Yeah, I was at the first game. He didn't score that game though. They scored the following game. But.
Well, you knew as a defenseman because I like moving the puck, and you knew if you hit him in open ice, there was a pretty good chance he was going to have a scoring opportunity.
Yeah, I think that happened.
Did he?
He did okay.
Yeah. Did he speak any English when he first came? Like that must have been hard too, trying to like make plays and stuff like that.
You know what? He was okay. Like I think he could understand. I mean, it's just like anyone going to another country, whether you understand the language or not. If if you get thrown in, you're kind of holding back and wait until you're comfortable to start speaking it. I mean, I think he did understand just about everything. But yeah, no, he got along all right. Yeah, and then he had Gino to teach him English.
Oh yeah, of course.
So, of course. Maybe that's slowed him down a bit, but no, Gino was a good friend of his and really helped him out a lot. Yeah.
And Gino's a beauty. We had him on here as well, and just an all around great guy. But I was gonna get Mike to remind of the story of I think it was Tim Hunter was telling us where Quinn came down and put the big paw on his shoulder.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure you were in this game too, Dave. But I guess Rob Ray was making runs at Bure all game long. This is at Pacific Coliseum, and I guess finally near the end of the game, like leave him alone. Hunter said, "Leave him alone," and then they both get tossed, Hunter and Ray. But Ray keeps chirping at the ref, so Hunter leaves, goes down to the tunnel, and I guess he hid behind the black screen. And as soon as Rob Ray came down, he just started hammering at him. And I guess they were wrestling underneath the stands, and Pat Quinn, I guess, came down and broke it up. I don't know if you remember it or not, but
I do, because at the Coliseum there, I don't know if you've been underneath, the two benches, they go down just underneath the stands, and then there's a rubber mat on the concrete that connect them, and then there was a restaurant in behind there. I forget what the thing was called, but and I remember Hunt's. I mean, you could see we could see down the hallway, and then all of a sudden there was a ruckus, and we knew Hunt's could take care of himself, so we didn't worry about it.
So let's talk a '94 run there, and what were your thoughts when you were down 3-1, and obviously we came back and we had the big Pavel goal. Just talk about that series for us.
Yeah, well, it was, man, it was, a lot of it's still a blur. Yeah. And I still haven't watched, Game 7 again,
Ever? You've never watched it?
No.
Wow.
No. And I still don't want to, it's, but that's okay. No, it was a great experience. We, being down 3-1, we knew we could play with them. It wasn't that. It was just, you needed some breaks. I don't think we got too many breaks from the referee throughout the whole series, and you just got to play through it. I mean, and we did. When that Game 5 was here, Game 5 was in New York. Sorry. Yeah, when we went there and kind of, shut them up there. I think we were up 3-0 and they scored 3 quick ones.
Yeah,
I guess I scored the next goal real quick after they scored 3, shut the whole building down. It was just dead quiet. And then
some guy named Babych scored a goal from Bure, I believe.
Well, yeah, he knew who to feed, So, but you know what? I mean, he did. He did see me coming in and fed me, and of course, I'm sure everyone in the building thought I was going back to him, but yeah, Richter was cheating for the pass, and I had to turn the puck sideways to go short side, but whatever you got to do, right? Yeah. So anyway, I mean, it was good. It went in, and you know what? I almost missed the rest of the series because after I scored, Pavel jumped up on me, and I caught his legs. That's how high he jumped, and I fell backwards, and I hyperextended my elbow, and so I'm getting up, and I'm like, oh God, I don't, I mean, there's so much adrenaline going, and then a few things hurt because then there's a pile on you, right? And then after the game, it was honestly I could barely move my arm, and with a little magic medicine,
you're good to go.
Good to go. Right. You couldn't stop playing,
And then you hit. It was you, right, that gave the pass to Pavel in Game 7.
I'm trying to think.
Mike, is that right? I should know that. It's my favorite moment of my life.
I'm not 100% on that, to be honest.
Which Game 7 you talking about? Is that
the Calgary series?
He's talking about the Calgary series.
Yeah, no, you know what? I passed it over to Brown, and then he passed
Brown.
it.
Yeah, Brown. Brown to Bure.
Yeah, you know what? He wouldn't have been open if I didn't make that pass.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, threw everything off.
What do they call them now? Primary passes? What a bunch of bullshit! You know, it's how you set those plays up. You know, you gotta suck the team in, and then
kind of like soccer, right? You got to pass it all the way around to the other side, and then back to the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
And then okay, let's move on to the Dallas series, and then the Pavel Bure elbow on Churla.
Oh boy, yeah. I played with Churla in Hartford, and he was a tough bugger, boy. And because I was on the ice with Pavel there, and you know, so Charles was all over him and bugging him, and geez, he just came by, and you could just hear it. It was just like just whack. And he's out, and now we're looking around, we're thinking, okay, here we go, and nothing really happened. You know,
no.
I mean, now Pavel would have got life for it, you know. Like
that's what I was just gonna say that
anymore. Yeah. So
and that's the same words Gino said, that Pavel would have had life for that.
Oh yeah. But no, you know what? He handled things himself. You know, like as a lot of players did back then. You know, now it's all you can't even bump into somebody without somebody jumping you or expecting you to fight, which I think is the most ridiculous thing in the world. But no, well.
So how accepted on the team was Messier coming to Vancouver? I mean, it was the darkest time of our franchise in my eyes, but you were still playing when he arrived.
Yeah, well, no, I knew Mark from Edmonton. And,
of course.
My brother played with his brother in junior, and Doug, his dad, coached the junior team. So we knew each other for a long time, and you know what, who knows if it was a bad choice or not. I mean, we thought, hey, you know, you got to give it a try. And then it was, you know, it obviously didn't turn out the way anyone expected, and including the players. You know, there was disappointment. Not, you know, hey, Mark he's a you know, great player, no questions asked, but just he
bad fit.
Too late.
Well, it wasn't too late. It was just wrong mix.
Yeah. And then after,
it's a tough. It's hard to really say. It just didn't work.
Of course,
at all. Yeah,
of course, understandable. And then we moved you to Philadelphia for a playoff run there. What was your time like there?
Oh, I loved it there. Yeah, I really liked it. You know what, that was fun. The good thing about it is I know where we lived. We rented a house in the subdivision just in Voorhees, where their practice rink is, near Cherry Hill on the Jersey side. And I'm just trying to think, there was probably 10 guys that lived within 2 or 3 blocks of each other.
Oh, wow.
With their families and stuff. Like, it was a subdivision, and every night that we were home, kids are out playing, the barbecues are going, you know, maybe a couple bottles of wine got smushed, you know, but but it was good. No, I really enjoyed it, and it was, you know, it was close. My wife's from Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
So it was close enough, through like 3-hour drive, where, you know, her family and friends could come and see us, you know, anytime they wanted, and we, you know, we could do the same if we had some time off, and it was good. It was and the hockey, like, the team was terrific. Like, we should have, because they were in the finals the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and there's no doubt we should have. If we'd have got past the first round, I think we get to the finals for sure. And just, you know, Buffalo played us really well. They played the, you know, the big boys, you know, Lindros and LeClaire and the forwards really well. They, you know what, they didn't even try to hit them. They just let them skate around and kept them to the outside. And you know what, and Hawerchuck was terrific at the time. He was in his heyday, and he basically beat us himself. But but it was
he was good.
Yeah, really good. really good. But we had a great team, really good bunch of guys, and I did like it there until the ending there, where I got hurt. And
so who had a better stash in their prime, you or Harold Schnaps?
No, it's not even close. Not even close. Come on. Look at this is I just trimmed it.
And he doesn't even have his anymore, I don't think, or he didn't last time we ran into him.
Yeah, you know what? He had it off last time I saw him too, but his was okay. It was more like Fu Manchu-ish, kind of. It was good. I mean, it suited him, and he was well known for it for sure.
Of course.
But I don't know. Hey, everyone's different. I mean, look at Mike. Mike thinks he has one.
Yeah, so, exactly.
I mean, he's
I'm trying.
With that, I think. I don't know.
I'm trying.
Yeah. And I always remember Harold being like one of my first Canuck memories is being in the old Pacific Coliseum and hearing the chanting Harold.
Yeah, well, you know what? It bothered me because Harold was gone when I got here.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I went to hit somebody, and my helmet flew off, and all I heard is this quiet chant, Harold, because our hair is similar, and I'm thinking, what? Do I look that bad? Nothing. But so I'm scrambling to get my helmet back on. Just like stop, but he was well loved for sure. So,
that's funny. And then you got moved to LA to end your career basically in the NHL, and then over in Switzerland. Tell us a little stint about going to Europe.
Oh, you know what? I was nervous to go because I was still hoping to play. It's just, in Philly, I got injured, when I was there right before the playoffs when we lost out, and then they traded me the next year, but my foot was all buggered up and it still wasn't healed. And you know what? I worked out, tried to get ready. And then you had a few deals that fell through here, in the NHL. So, the one guy called me from Europe and asked me to come out for, I think, the last 3 months of the year. And it was terrific. It was in Switzerland there, like I was the place, it was called Ombri-Piotta, kind of down in the southern part of Switzerland. It's kind of on the edge of the Italian section. So real close, probably an hour and a half from Milan,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty neat spot. But anyway, it was wine region. And in my stay there, I tried to find a bad bottle of wine. I couldn't. So
keep trying.
I tried and tried, but it was terrific. Food was great, and you know what? The hockey was great. Leaf Rolin was there. He played.
Okay. Yeah.
Leaf was there. The LeBeau brothers were there. Patrick and Stefan LeBeau. They had good careers out here too, and the hockey was terrific. But the place the rink we played at, it was right on the side of a mountain. Yeah. And I remember one of the first games we played, because it was still, I think it was like February still. Weather was pretty good, but they had a snowstorm, and so we're playing, and it's probably -10. The snow and it's open sides, so the snow is coming down the mountain, just blowing in the rink, and there's snow drifts on the ice. People were in like full parkas, and it's packed. I think it was 6,000 people, but it was packed. And they got the flares going, they got sausages cooking. I mean, it was just it's bananas, right? But but the place was amazing. Like the town, Ombri-Piotta is about, it might have been 500 people, but as soon as it was game time, the whole town lit up. And all the farmers and the people from the hills, honestly, they came down, and it was packed every night. I really enjoyed it. And it was funny. A funny story about, you talk about, the way hockey is there. Like the hockey was great. Like, it wasn't as rough as here, but the skill level just as good. And so the LeBeau brothers were our leading scorers. And over there, Swiss Credit was one of the financial institutions, was the sponsor of the league. And so what they did is every team that in the league, their leading scorer had to wear a silver helmet. So, and I mean, no sense making your top scorer a target. If that was here, there'd be like stick marks all over the helmet. But So those guys were always like one point between each other. So there was times in a game, if one of them got like a point or two in a period, they would have to switch helmets during the game.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was just as goofy as that. Yeah. And it was interesting. I know, I know the rink, like I was describing the rink. Our dressing room was, I don't know, maybe it was about the same as what it was in the Coliseum, which was just, we got wood stalls and nice.
Yeah.
Everything was good, but it was nothing fancy. Well, I walked in the rink there, and same thing, nothing fancy. The guys are walking around with there's these little, they're pinching these little paper cups. They're espresso cups. They're disposable ones, and there's this monster coffee machine in the middle of the dressing room. And that's all they did in between periods. There was Gatorade, but nobody drank that. They were drinking these little shot glasses of
coffee,
espresso. Oh yeah, it was good too. They didn't screw around. That was the best part of the rink, I think. Yeah.
Hey, what was your favorite stadium you ever played in? I mean, that last one sounds awesome, dude.
Well, that one was good. Well, the one in Ombry, it was like a wartime bunker too. So you had to walk through all these concrete steel doors just to get to the dressing room. And they had the round. It was like a submarine. They had the round handles and stuff to turn. It was bizarre, but you know what? Like, I mean, hey, the ones here, some of the old ones, like the old Montreal Forum or Toronto Gardens, Maple Leaf Gardens. Even you go to Boston, the old Boston rink there, Boston Garden. It was just a dump, but the energy. Montreal was probably the best for that. And Toronto, but these other ones, you go to Madison Square Garden, and it's not the rink is it's okay now. It's beautiful because they redid it, but back then, you go to Chicago or Boston. You had to shake your gloves and skates just to get the cockroaches out. Nowhere. You would hear guys screaming before practice because they're shaking their gloves out and the cockroach comes out.
Honestly, nasty.
Yeah. And
I honestly miss the Pacific Coliseum because those boards were better than any boards in the league. Like when someone got hit, you knew he got hit.
Well, you know what? You should have played in Montreal because those things were like concrete. But the good thing about them, the runners on the bottom.
Yeah,
now it's all plastic and that crap. It was wood back then. So if you bounced something off there or you made a pass and you knew what the hell you're doing, it would be true every time. Now it's you hit a pillar in the boards and the thing might take off some different direction. But it was all just real true, and it was great atmosphere.
I know you dropped the gloves a couple times in your career. Do any of your fights stick out to you?
Oh, I was telling people, the last fight I won by 4 blocks. But I can't run that fast anymore. No, there was a few, but I really didn't like fighting. I mean, I did, but my brother was the one that loved it. My mom would give him shit all the time for fighting. He goes, "Well, did you know what they called you?" Just making stuff up. But I think there was one where I felt real bad. It was I think it was Pat Hughes, and I guess it was in Edmonton. I don't know if I was. Who the hell was I? I think it was with Winnipeg. Yeah, and he, I don't know. He was on their checking line, and he was chopping me all shift, and then in the front of the net, I give him a cross check, and he gives me one back, and then he skates out, and all of a sudden I see him coming at me, and he throws his gloves in my face, and then he's ready to go. He's coming right at me, and I remember because in Edmonton, my folks would be there and friends, you could see people in the stands that you knew. And I remember it was right in front of the net, kind of off to the right corner. And then, so I hit him so hard, like honestly, it was terrible. Like I felt bad, but I hit him right between the eyes, and he goes down. And I'm holding him up, and I give him a couple uppercuts, which is just like just right on the screws. And then I stopped, and because he's done, he's down on the ice, and then I look up and. My parents and some other friends are right in the corner there where I'm where I just did this, and I don't know. I think either they were in shock or whatever, but yeah, it just wasn't good. And then I played with him in Hartford too, which is even worse because he, of course, guys, you go out for dinner and they talk about same thing. They talk about some of your fights, and I didn't want to say anything because I knew how because I could see the scar. It was right across, right, like it was a good one too, and yeah, I just felt bad. Because everyone's just. They're just trying to, get through and, stand their ground, and that just happened to be the wrong night to do it, So
I was gonna say you never really had to here in Vancouver because you always had Gino or Hunter or Didick. You guys always had some tough guys on the team, and obviously you were more known for your offensive flair with 723 points in 1,195 games.
Yeah, well, when I got here too, I mean, I wasn't real offensive, but like I said, I still like moving the puck, and I think I did a pretty decent job of it. But here, after one injury I had in Hartford where I had a wrist fusion, you had to kind of change your game because you couldn't make the same quick moves as you could have before, and that was fine because like I said, Didick and I, we played off each other, and we could still move the puck, and I mean, there was a few times I got in a couple scuffles here, but I remember Michel Petit or
yeah.
And but anyway, I mean, it's just fun stuff. By then, I think I was so old, everyone felt sorry for me. Maybe.
I doubt that's the fact. What do you? How do you feel about the new hockey? Like, what do you think of like Quinn Hughes, for instance? We've never kind of seen a defenseman like that here.
Well, obviously he's offensively, he's very talented. I remember, example, when I was in Winnipeg, all they would say, because, I was the only guy that really was offensive there. And so the assistant coach would just, Bill Sutherland, he would just go, you got to go. You got to get in the play. You got to go. You got to go. You got to go. And so you'd force things. And for a couple of years, you'd be forcing things, and your plus minus would show it, and sure, you'd get a few points here or there, which is great. I mean, because you can counter that, but you can't just get them all in the power play. You have to round out your game where you're not a liability 5-on-5, and not that he is. It's just that there's a lot to learn, and if he could just figure that out. And it's not necessarily his job to figure it out. I think it's, there's got to be direction there to, maybe hold them back certain times and let them go in certain times. And, with skill like that, you do need to let them go. But, you got to pick and choose your spots. Because, I mean, he could be as good as he wants. And like I said, I went through it. My career might not go the same way as his, but I could skate, I could make plays, and if I tried some of the moves he made, I'd be sitting on the bench for about 2 years because the coach would bench you. But now the game has changed. So, but that's it's a wonderful part of the game where guys try drop passes and back passes and all this stuff. Where before, if honestly, and the guys could do it, it wasn't like the guys weren't talented enough. But if you did it and you made a mistake, boy, your ass is going to be cold sitting on the bench.
It's funny you bring up the back pass. I cannot stand that. Like, we do it so much. Like, go forward. Like, you're supposed to be going offensive, not going backwards. I hate it.
Yeah, because you know what? I mean, anyone can cheat on those.
Yeah,
because it's still 5-on-4 or whatever it might be. If somebody cheats on it, what's going to happen. But you know what? I mean, it works 95% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the timing of the other 5%. And sometimes it bites in the ass when you try it when you shouldn't. I mean, you look at what happened to Miller this year. I mean, they crucified him for that one play. The guy, as far as I'm concerned, he's the best forward we got.
He's good for sure.
Well, I shouldn't say the best. I think overall, like best two-way. But as to change the outcome of a game, he's the guy. and people are crucifying him for making a back pass. Sure, I mean, it was bad timing because it looked like everyone was tired except for the other team, and they just read it. That's all. And hey, you make a mistake, you made the mistake. It's not, you don't need to be told.
No, exactly.
Anyway, but yeah, no, it's like I said, it's a very skillful game. There's look at the playoffs.
Yeah,
a lot of that fancy stuff doesn't show up in the playoffs, and if it does, they're out the first round. So.
Yep.
Well, yeah. I mean, Tampa Bay and the Islanders are both very skilled teams. Those two, as opposed to like the other conference where you got Vegas that's big and tough.
Yeah. No, and you're right. But the good thing about those teams, and look at Tampa, the only way they won last year is they tightened everything up, and they have enough skills when they get the chances. They're going to make the best of them, and might only be 2 a game, but you got to be prepared. When you do get the chances.
Do you remember?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you remember the first vinyl record you ever got?
Oh boy, the first one.
Or your favorite one?
Oh, you know what? I got I got a lot. I remember. I think the first. Well, I mean, my parents had them. I think it was. Who would have been Dean Martin?
Yeah.
I think Elvis Presley was even crazy talk back then. Like that was kind of the edgy one. And then I remember for one of my birthdays, I got the Beatles.
Yeah.
I forget which one it was. It was one of their first, probably in the late '60s. Where we had 5 channels on the radio, AM.
Yeah.
That's all that played. So, and who else? With Dean Martin. I know they're country western fans, like Charlie Pride, and I don't even know if Willie Nelson was probably there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Johnny Cash.
Yeah, well, Johnny Cash was always on. But myself, I know when I was, I think the Beatles. I think even a little April Wine, kind of in the '70s. There, they were. That was my first concert. April Wine.
Oh, that's another question I ask sometimes: is what was your first concert?
Yeah,
there you go, April Wine.
And who opened for him was Trooper.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good. It was. I think I was 13.
Good local band.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, no,
here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah. That's your motto, eh, you guys? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's what all my ex-girlfriends would say.
Hey,
go ahead.
Dave, I just want to thank you very much for taking the time for us today and coming on and chatting with us. And we're big fans of you, and we've been big fans of you since you played, and it means a lot to us.
And all the Canuck alumni as well, we are fans of as well. And me personally, I've always been a big fan of you for years. And when we run into you, you're always nothing but nice to us too. So.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm sorry. I know it took a while to get this organized, and more my fault because I'm kind of computer literate there. So
we figured it out. It's all that matters. So
yeah, no, and anytime, guys. No, I think you guys are doing a good job. Just keeping everything going here and putting the word out. And yeah, no, it's terrific. And look at your man caves there.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. I don't see 44 in there, but whatever. You guys.
Hey, your autographs kept in the book. That way, in case my condo catches fire, I can toss the book off the balcony.
Oh, that's the
so
first
I can
one.
Save it. The first thing I throw out of here, if the building ever catches or floods or something, I'm throwing my suitcase full of my autographs. So.
Yeah, I know. My jerseys are sold out too. I see.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
No,
hey, Dave. Hey, Dave. Thanks again.
Looking for the most beers on tap, great steaks, great staff? Head over to the John B. Pub.
We got the best beers, steaks, chicken wings, nachos in town. Come see us at the John B. Pub.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Come sign up for our football pool. Say Hayes sent you.